Hey everyone, I know everybody uses ChatGPT, right? I mean, you love it. I mean, I love ChatGPT. But one of the things that I really don't like, or I wish OpenAI can do better, is making sure the model is available so that we can all use it offline or in our laptop. I mean, who am I kidding? That's probably not going to happen, right? I mean, why? Because OpenAI is using a very large language model and a lot of proprietary customizations that enables GPT to be such a powerful assistant. Well, if you want to run something, similar but in your laptop offline, so you can have your own large language model in your laptop so that you don't have to go to ChatGPT for everything and you can rely on certain things for your local model. Well, you can do that. What you need to do is go to your browser and navigate to LMstudio.ai. Now, there are a lot of open models available right now. When I say open, they're open source models. If you go to Hugging Face, you're going to get a lot more, right? So this open source models ecosystem is growing a lot. And then tools like LMstudio and the another one called FreeChat, which is a Mac desktop app, you can see them utilizing these open source models and helping users to run these language models in your laptop or desktop. So LMstudio app, you can download it from their website, and it's available for the Mac M1 and M2 series, so it's not available for Intel. And then you have for Windows, and for folks that have and use Linux, well, you have an option there which is available in beta. So once you download and install the app, this is how the app looks, right? So if you go to the home screen, it gives you a lot of options to download the models that are optimized to run locally in your Apple laptop, M1, M2 series that is, or any other supported PCs, right? And one of the beauty of this app, why I like this, more than others, is it has the model information, and it also highlights the different files that you can download. That is the model file that you can download, because these models usually are built very large, right? With several billion parameters, and sometimes they're not able to run locally in your machine. So what they have done here is they have used the quantization to be able to basically compress it, but not have a lot of loss, because once you compress it, you're going to lose something, right? And so how much can you compress it without losing most of the things? That's what you see here, which is this is 4-bit quantization, this is 6-bit quantization. And as you go from 4 to 6 to 16, to all those stuff, you see the file size increasing. And it gives you more information, like if you download this particular 4-bit quantization, it's small and fast, right? And if you download the larger version, then it is less compressed and it might be slower depending on what configuration your machine is. And another thing you can do is you can hover over this information icon and it'll actually tell you what is the loss of quality. Now, loss of quality is just meaning that it might not be as efficient as you might want the model to be, because there could be some loss when it tries to respond to what you're asking for. So you can browse a lot of models here and try it out. Like you can even download Code Llama. So if you are interested and very specific about learning, coding, then these models are very helpful. And there's a lot of stuff here. If you want to search for certain models, then you can do that as well here. And they actually bring you the results from Hugging Face as well as from their own catalog. So for example, if I type in Mistral, you can see that I will get results from Hugging Face and from their catalog, which is what you see here from the LMstudio catalog, all the models that are published there and available. So once you download these, you're going to see them here in the Downloads tab. You can see I have 3 models downloaded: OpenHermes, Zephyr, and Mistral. Zephyr is one of the latest models. It's still in beta, released by Hugging Face. It's really good. Like if you start using it, you will see it way better than any other model. But OpenHermes fine-tuning the Mistral model is also really good. And I find it also very helpful. But the base Mistral model, well, that would not necessarily mean that you can get good output and response, because it's basically used as a foundation-based model, right? So folks like, the Hugging Face user, the bloke, has been fine-tuning the base models to be very specific about, being helpful chat assistants or, being helpful in responding to queries. And that's what we see with these fine-tuned models, open ecosystem models that are coming up. So once you have it, all these models, you can do two things. One, you can start to chat with it, just like how you would do with your chat GPT, or you can actually start a local server by which you can then go and build applications. So if you're a developer and you want to use the local models, like these open ecosystem models, rather than OpenAI or Anthropic Claude, you can basically use LMStudio, start these local inference server, and then you can write the code to interact with this model. The beauty is these inference servers use the same OpenAI API schema. So if you want to do something locally, test it, and then switch to OpenAI, well, you got an option here too. So you don't have to go and pay to OpenAI. You can probably test the prompts. You can probably do some prompt engineering locally and then move on to OpenAI when you want to. So good options here if you are a developer and building applications that use LLMs. If you go to the AI chat, you can see that you can select a model from this dropdown. Right now I've selected openhermes, and I can start chatting. And let's see what it does when I do howdy. There you go. It's pretty fast, right? It's just like ChatGPT. So I'm going to say, write a Python code to calculate, calculate two numbers. Well, give it a really simple task. So it's going to write a Python code, which is good. And here you can see it actually formats the code just like you would expect it to. And as a developer, this is great. It's also giving me the comment for the code. So you can see here, prompt the user for the input, calculate the sum for two numbers, and then print the result, right? The sum of num1, num2 is result. Now, let's see what it does when we say, can you make it a function, right? So hope it can do this. So this is where ChatGPT excels, right? It knows how to take the conversation history, it knows what you're working with, and then tries to improve it. And you can see here, it has actually made that into a function, and then it's saying you can call this function and pass the two numbers as arguments, as an example, which is great. It's also giving me an example with decimal numbers. So let's say, now let me say, okay, great, put this in underscore main function. Let's see what it does now. So now basically I'm saying, give me a main function so I can use that and then execute that from the Python code. So there it is. It's actually putting it there, but it's probably not the right one. So what I'm going to say is I want the function outside of main and main calling the function. Well, let's that's the beauty, right? It doesn't matter how you write, what you write, how far it can infer and how far it can produce the result. So here is, hopefully right now, let's see if it does the right thing. So we have the function getting written, and then there's the main. There you go. That's probably the right way to do it. So it's actually doing that and then showing me two examples. Well, let me add comments, please. And hopefully now this will start adding comments to my code. There you go. Here's an example of how you can define. Again, it's starting with the first sentence, but that's it did infer that it needs to add comments for better understanding. So that's good, right? So now it's adding the comments here. So you can see that you can use these models locally to do certain things where you don't have to go to ChatGPT. Some examples would be like you want to start working on some work-related documents that you don't want to pass it on to OpenAI, because remember, whatever you're doing in OpenAI ChatGPT, the data is going to be stored in OpenAI servers and used for improving their model. So if you don't want to participate in that, and sometimes it's very clear that you don't need to, right? Especially when you're doing some work stuff or your own personal stuff, you can rely on these models that run locally in your machine, and you can see it's pretty fast. So this is an example of the LMStudio app, right? So this LMStudio app does several things, and this was very helpful, right? Now, one of the things that you can control, like the prompt temperatures, the prompt messages, and things like that, if you expand the settings panel, you will see that you have the option to do all of those things. And then one of the things I really like about this is it supports loading the model into Apple Metal GPU. So that's the Apple Silicon power that the GPUs in these M1, M2 chips are really good. So what it does with this option is it offloads all of the processing to the GPU, which normally you would be doing when you're using NVIDIA and Windows PCs, right? So it does that, and then that's why you see this running really, really good in my Apple MacBook Air M1 series. That's right. All this demo that you're seeing is running in the M1 series MacBook Air 16 GB RAM, which is right now, I think, almost 3 years old. So this is fantastic, right? This is amazing. Like, in a year, we have come a long way in having these models do a lot of these things that we wouldn't have even imagined last year when ChatGPT was released. So that's the LMStudio app. Now, let me also show you the FreeChat. I'm going to quit LMStudio. And if you go to freechat.run, it actually opens up the Mac store where you can download this app. This is available in the Apple Mac store. So once you install it, if you do the first run, it will actually take you through the steps to download a model. Again, these apps do not function without a model, so you need to be able to download that. This doesn't have a catalog browser, nor other things that you would normally expect. It does tell you to find new models, and then it takes you to the Hugging Face website, which is not that friendly. But if you have downloaded the LMStudio app, then you have downloaded a model. So you can basically go and select that model and add it to this chat app. So you can depend on the same model that you downloaded. And that's why I was closing the LMStudio and coming to this app. So now you can see this is very similar. And this is very user-friendly. I think the developer has done a great job building this app. And you see the similar concept of what you have in ChatGPT, right? So now I can give it a question, and it's going to warm up, meaning if this is the first time that you're loading the app, in which case we did, right? So we closed the app, and then we just opened this app. It's going to warm up. But after that, it's pretty quick. And again, this is running in a 3-year-old Apple MacBook Air M1 series, which is amazing. Like, I really, really love this performance that we're getting with the Apple M1, M2, M3 chips, right? So that's what I wanted to show you today. I'm planning to do more video series. If you have any suggestions, let me know, and I will meet you soon next time. Thank you.